In any other location, if this backdrop was there and there was a Performante there, you'd think that this car has been photoshopped into the background. But however, I've slipped down the side of the VVS building. In there are around 40 Lamborghinis. If you missed my last video from coming down here, I met up with the owner, Neil, and we took out an LP670 SV to discuss how I go about finding the perfect Murcielago LP640, because it is my dream car. But there was one thing that I realised as I was on that drive. Whilst it is my dream car, I drove it on the best driving road I've ever driven on. Up in the hills of Los Angeles, it was an incredible experience. However, I got back from that trip and I was like, I want to buy an LP640. What I didn't realise was in the UK, the roads are absolute crap, the junctions are awful. Is the Murcielago the right car to be driving on UK roads? So I needed to put it to the test in its home environment where I was going to be putting the most miles onto this car. So the weather might not look like the perfect conditions to take a Murcielago out on the road, and you would be right. However, today it is the perfect scenario to take my dream car out of the perfect road and put it into its natural habitat in the United Kingdom. So I have driven the Jaguar F-Type SVR down to VVS to drive that car. Before I run inside and grab the keys, and also the salesman Dan, who is going to be jumping in the passenger seat with me, I need to look at this car, and I want to look at it with you guys to just look at that and say cars do not exist or get built like this anymore. The side profile of this car, it has got sports lowering suspension springs, which basically mean that the car is sitting much lower, but as a side profile, they do not make cars like this anymore. So we've got Dan in the car, who is going to accompany me on the drive. I'm just gonna. Is that off now? Nope. Nope.
It's all the way up, is it?
All the way up. There we go. Are we mad taking a Murcielago out in this weather?
Probably, but it is the UK.
Am I good your side?
Okay, my way.
There we go. The first issue
it's visibility.
with driving a left-hand drive car. Left-hand drive Murcielago is slightly different than just any old left-hand drive car.
Yes, of course.
Because visibility isn't great.
And you're so low.
And you're so low. Oh my god. This is so different to cars that I've just been experiencing. I've jumped from a Tesla Model X, which is the furthest thing that you can get to a Murcielago, to a Jaguar F-Type SVR and TTRS, which are brilliant, very fast, but usable cars. And the modern technology on them basically allows you to drive them a bit like an idiot.
Yeah, they have the assists
and get away with it.
Really improve them.
This, not so much. I think even I'm a little bit confused, so I can't imagine what you guys watching this video will be thinking, because when I drove the Murcielago in California, I was like, I am on a hunt to find the perfect example that will sit in my garage and will be my car. This is my dream car.
It's an addictive car.
Always has been my dream car, and I want one. And then I go to Dubai and I drive the R8 and I'm like, oh, I really want the R8. And to compare an R8 Spider to this, again, is complete opposites, because the R8's got so many assists, double clutch gearbox. You can turn that at a flick of a switch from being an Audi A3 in the town to being an out-and-out Hurricane supercar on roads like this. Whereas this is a supercar all day long and a pretty hard one to drive at the best of times.
Exactly, but it's all one that will always put a smile on your face. And I always say to people, to live with, I've worked for VVS now for 10 years, and this is the only car that I get in and I still smile with being in it. And
I'm concentrating a little bit, so I might not be smiling too much. Hopefully we can find some roads where we can open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
this is actually easier than I thought it was going to be to drive.
Yeah.
And because it's not going to be the car that I drive every single day, I could live with it.
Yeah, because when you get it out of the garage on high days and holidays, it puts a smile on your face, it's drama, it's everything you want from a supercar. And I think when you live with it daily and you use a car daily, you lose the drama of owning a supercar.
Yeah, it becomes less special because you become used to it.
Exactly, and that's where you get bored easily. But
yeah, so I think the one thing that I need to say is, if I was to get the likes of something like an Audi R8 as a replacement to the Hurricane and the M3, I could drive that every single day.
yeah,
With this, if I was to go and buy a Murcielago right now, I would also be buying a second car, because I'd need a second car and a place to keep this car.
Of course.
So I'd need a garage and I'd need a second car. So it's not as easy as making a decision like, I want to go and buy a Murcielago right now.
Yeah, just go and buy one.
There's an addition. There's optional extras that I need when considering buying this car. Everyone's looking at us like, those guys are crazy.
The only people in the UK. The only people in the UK driving a Murcielago in
Today.
December.
Here we go. We're going to build the revs up. I didn't want to floor it right from the word go, because cold tyres and a cold engine is not good for the car.
No, it's not good for them. The Murcielago does take a little bit more moving through being an older derived engine.
You have to look after this baby. It's a classic now. That was to 5,000 RPM. That wasn't even anywhere near the 8,000 that it revs out to. Yeah, it still pumps my heart around like even faster than it should.
Sound like no other.
My back is sweating, my palms are sweating. Yeah, this is exactly what this car's supposed to do.
Yes. But that said, we do have your. If you could design a car and design a colour combination, we were just in the process of trying to buy back a Grigio Telesto LP640 with SV seats. So the carbon bucket seats. So just to put that in the mix, I think it's going to be a Wallace spec of Murcielagos.
That is not far off. Which is worrying. Exactly. So it is a Grigio Telesto car. It's got the upgraded carbon fibre SV seats, which are like a 12 grand optional extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah, 18 grand option.
18 grand for seats.
Yes, it's insane because they're with the SV, and it was a crazy option. I think it was only one or two that actually accepted it because it was just such a rare option.
Jesus Christ! So I'm driving this car. You've got that car coming into stock, which is a right-hand drive car.
Yes.
So this is left-hand drive, which I mean isn't it's not obscure.
No, it's fine to live with them, and I personally don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
But yes, when sometimes it's not your perfect colour combination, so that is coming in.
Okay.
Obviously, right-hand drive, they made far fewer, so it will be. It's a premium over left. So of course, it's the balance of whether you want a project where you can do stuff or a car that is your ultimate spec already, and you can just enjoy. It's a special purchase because it's an asset that they're only going one way, and it's kind of the balance is: do you run along? Like not run along. That's the wrong word. Do you keep thinking about it and then I'm going to go for that car, and every time you go for that car and move the Mercy to the side for 6 months, the price goes up.
Exactly, and that is the other thing that I'm battling, because this car right now, like, they're not crazy expensive, but like you said, they're only going one way.
Yeah, they're 140 grand for a right-hand drive.
R8s now, they're scary.
Yes.
They started at 120, 130 plus options.
Spider,
Then there is an R8 V10 Plus for sale for 95 grand, which scares me because, like you say, I could go to the R8 and be like, I'm just going to get the R8 because I can't quite reach the Murcielago just yet. And then all of a sudden, I'm losing 10 grand on a car, which is essentially the deposit for this. And
the Mercy's gone up 10 grand, so then you're 20 grand differential again, rather than earn the money on Murcielago. So
you're a good salesman because now I'm like, oh no.
The Grigio Telesto car that I just spoke about, we sold to the not the previous but the previous owner.
Yeah.
2 years ago for 140, and now that is for sale.
That was the lowering spring.
Now it's for sale. Now it will be sale for significantly more than that, and that's only a 2 year period, and they've gone up in excess of £40,000 in 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I've got another customer that bought a Gardo as an interim car, and now he's battling with the same thing of, I didn't go for a Mercy then, I could have. Now he can't quite stretch to it, so he's like, next year, but I'm saying it's going to go again, and you've got the last of the Mitsui V12 car, it will always slowly rise, and that's the thing is, did you limit your exposure and earn money rather than lose it?
Having driven this car now in possibly the worst conditions we can drive this car in, I have come to the conclusion that it is still an enjoyable drive. You don't have to floor it all of the time. You get the sense of occasion by pooling around at 35 miles an hour in third gear, fourth gear. You still have that V12 sound behind you. Well, yes, it would be stupid for me to try and get it up into the top end 7,000 RPM plus, because I think we will die.
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
It is a bit of a scraper on roads like this.
It is. It's not ideal on these roads, and when you've got bridges like this, it's not ideal either. But
this is going to be fun.
It's a reversing under pressure for the first time.
This is what you call a single track bridge
in the dark country, deepest countryside of Kent.
Let's go.
But we don't really have many motorways close. Woo! So you can tackle the bridges as well.
Let's head back to VVS. Let's have a bit of a discussion on how, whether it's the Grigio Telesto car or the white car, whatever other car it is. I think we just need to, I need to work it out in my head.
And now look at your running costs and just see, look at what it's like to own one. But I think it's one of them things that say you have to, it's a bucket list you have to tick off at some point.
It is, and I think if I was to make the jump in 2018, early in 2018, my girlfriend said I can get a Murcielago, but I just have to get the flat first.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going left or right?
Yeah, left and then straight back.
Okay.
So yeah, you've got the flat, so now it's your turn to have your flat.
Yeah.
You may be living in the car.
Dan, thank you very much for letting me drive this car.
You're always welcome.
Let me know in the comment box below whether you would like to see a car like this on my channel in 2018. I would like to road trip in this car. I think it'd be fun. I think Sam in his Ferrari 360, me in a Murcielago LP640. We'd have a lot of fun. He wouldn't want to sit behind me though, because the exhaust system that I put on the car would blow everyone's eardrums. But that's part of the fun, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get some headphones and I'll be protected. No one else will.
Earmuffs for yourself, and everyone else will have bleeding eardrums by the end of it. But
I could just have those like temporary earplugs that you get handed out at F1.
Yes,
and just give them out to everyone as I drive past. There you go. Apologies. Right, guys. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this car. Oh, don't pull out. Go, go, go. This is the thing with.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi. Các bạn hãy bấm like, comment và hãy bấm nút đăng ký để ủng hộ cho kênh mình nha.